huge Lowe's Halloween 2023 display photos have been leaked. Let's take a look. For everything scary, I'm GMHaunts, and welcome to a huge Lowe's Halloween 2023 leak video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, two brand new photos have surfaced online, revealing our very first looks at the Lowe's Halloween 2023 display, as well as a bunch of their new for 2023 animatronics. Now, it may seem early for leaks like this to be coming out, however, the rumor is that these two photos originated from manager meetings that Lowe's was holding around last week, somewhere in Las Vegas, where they were showing off their brand new display and their new animatronics for the upcoming Halloween season to some of their location managers. The point is, there isn't a ton of information about where these pictures came from. All we know is that they are official pictures, they are real images, and that today, we get to take our first looks at the Lowe's Halloween 2023 animatronics and display. Alright, so this first image is very, very cool because it gives us a bunch of new animatronics to take a look at, and I feel like the first thing I should talk about with this photo is the elephant in the room, because you can see the brand new 2023 12-foot character coming for Lowe's for this season. So obviously last year Lowe's released the 12-foot mummy that was manufactured by Gemmy, and that was a 12-foot character. This year, as we can see from this photo, Lowe's is releasing a 12-foot Scarecrow that is being manufactured by Techie Design. My favorite thing about this guy is definitely the face, because I love the way that his eyes look and also the way that the mouth is done. I think the small white eyes with the black pupils are really, really well executed, and they kind of look directly at you. Very creepy, and also a very new approach to the way eyes are painted for animatronics, so I love the way that looks. I also am really enjoying how they did the clothing for the Scarecrow. I think him having actual pants instead of him maybe just being on a stake was a good option, because I love the way he's standing and the way he's holding that sickle in his hand. Very, very cool, and I think the color scheme and the overall appearance of this Scarecrow is very, very good. I will say that compared to some of the other 12-foot characters that we've seen, maybe mainly from Home Depot because they kind of started the 12-foot trend, this is definitely one of the more basic 12-footers that we've seen. However, I think for a Scarecrow, this is very, very well executed, because once again, I think the colors are good. I think the scythe looks great. I love the pointy hat. And I think if you want something simple for your yard, I think this guy will get the job done, because he's a very, very cool looking Scarecrow. I will also say that I'm hoping he has some kind of cool animation. Obviously, last year with Lowe's 12-foot mummy, we saw that he kind of went from side to side and had some LEDs throughout the body. I am hoping that this Scarecrow has some animation. I feel like some raising of the arms so that he moves the scythe around would be really cool. Maybe some mouth movement. I'm not so sure about that one because it looks like it might be a plastic or resin face. Overall, though, I am a very big fan of this 12-foot Scarecrow. I think the execution was fantastic. I love the way the face looks, and I'm very curious to see if he has any kind of animation, and I'm very much hoping he does. Alright, so this next animatronic has been getting a ton of excitement in the community since this photo came out, and you have to zoom into the background to the side of the Scarecrow we just took a look at to see this. First of all, what you're going to notice is that Stitches the Clown, the 8-foot towering prop that was released last year by Lowe's, he was online only, manufactured by SVI, looks very similar to Spirit Halloween's Hugs the Clown, because once again he was manufactured by SVI. If you take a look to the side of Stitches that is in stores this year now, you'll notice that there is a brand new clown animatronic that seems to have a white head, red hair, and a white and black outfit. Now, if you really know your animatronics well, this is probably sticking out to you like a sore thumb, because what you're taking a look at is the clown on stilts from Techie Design. Now, if you're not familiar, the backstory with this is that back 4 years ago, during the 2019 Halloween season, Techie Design manufactured a prototype clown animatronic known as the Clown on Stilts. He had red hair, a white face, black and white outfit, and he was 7 feet tall with an animation of the arms kind of moving from side to side. Now, it is unknown who this animatronic was made for and what the prototype was kind of meant for what retailer it was meant to go towards. However, it went unreleased, and the clown on stilts became a prototype of techie design that never saw the light of day. Well, it looks like that is until 2023, because as you can see from this picture, this is clearly the clown on stilts from techie design, and he will now be sold at Lowe's for their in-store lineup. And this is super exciting because most prototype animatronics that have a story like the clown on stilts, most of the time they never get released. They kind of just are in the showroom of a manufacturer, and we never get to see them make it out to a Halloween retailer. It looks like the clown on stilts is going to be one of those animatronics that has a very interesting story, because 4 years after he was manufactured, he will now be sold for the Lowe's Halloween 2023 season. And I am super excited about this because I have been a big fan of the clown on stilts for a long time. I love his animation, I love that he's unique, and I love that he is a towering 7-foot animatronic. So I will say right now, there's a very good chance I do pick him up at some point during the season, but it is so great to see that the clown on stilts from Techie Design is coming to Lowe's finally after 4 years. Alright, so the next animatronic that you can see in this first photo of Lowe's Halloween 2023 is one that we have basically zero information about. This is a brand new skeleton prop that has a red robe on. You can't see any of the legs, the arms, or anything like that, and the hood is over the skull of the head. I will say, this looks very basic, and this is definitely one of the least exciting props that we can see from this picture, just because it looks kind of on the lower end in terms of quality and also most likely in terms of price. We have no idea who's manufacturing this. It could be Gemi, because we know in the past Lowe's has worked a lot with Gemi. However, this year it looks like they're working a lot with Techie. I'll talk about that later in this video. Could be manufactured by Techie, could be manufactured by Gemi. We really have no idea, and there isn't a lot to go off of from this image. We just know that there is a brand new skeleton in a red robe coming for the Lowe's season. You can see that next to this skeleton in the red robe, we get our first in-store look at the statue animatronic that we actually saw 2 weeks ago when the Lowe's Halloween animatronic stock photos got leaked out, when the 5 or so animatronics we got the early looks of leaked out into the community. This is one of those animatronics, the statue, that once again we already did take a look at, so I'm not going to give my thoughts on him. However, it is very cool to see that he is in stores this year and to see that he has a very prominent spot in the display, it looks like. So it's cool to see him. If you want to know my thoughts about him and see more, go back to my video 2 weeks ago when we saw him for the first time. Taking a look to the left of the statue animatronic from this first photo, we have 3 animatronics that are lined up right next to each other, so they are very easy to make out. First of all, we have another animatronic that we did already see 2 weeks ago. This is the SVI zombie prop that we saw the stock photo of. I did already say 2 weeks ago how I am not a big fan of this animatronic, just because I'm not a big fan of the face and the way that he's kind of standing, his posture. So once again, not going to talk about him in this video, but we can indeed see him in this display photo. Next to the SVI zombie prop, we see one of the most exciting animatronics coming for Lowe's this year, and this is the pneumatic red-dressed girl. Now, if you haven't been following my channel recently, you don't know, but 2 weeks ago, when the stock photos of some of the Lowe's animatronics leaked out, we got our first look at this pneumatic red-dressed girl. Now, the reason why this is so exciting is because this is the first time that a pneumatic Halloween animatronic will be sold in the retail consumer market of Halloween decorations. Now, this is actually not the only pneumatic prop Lowe's has this year. They also have a half-body clown, and unfortunately, in the 2 photos that we're going to take a look at in this video, we cannot make out the half-body pneumatic clown. However, we can indeed see the red-dressed pneumatic girl, which is super exciting because, once again, this is definitely going to be one of the most popular items of the entire Halloween 2023 season, not only just Lowe's, because this is such a step up for the industry that a pneumatic animatronic will be sold at a Halloween retailer like Lowe's like this. She's selling for $361, which for a pneumatic prop is obviously fantastic because mostly pneumatic props are sold in the professional market at companies like Poison Props and Distortions Unlimited and Scare Factory and companies like that. Either way, the red dress girl can prominently be seen in this photo. Alright, so the next animatronic that is in this first photo is right next to the red dress pneumatic girl. I am not going to talk a lot about him right now, though, because in the second photo, you can see him much better. You can kind of make it out here. This is the 9-foot zombie groundbreaker coming for the Lowe's 2023 season. Now, yes, we know that this guy is 9 foot. We know that he's a groundbreaker because of a price sheet that leaked out from Lowe's while I was on my Trans World trip in St. Louis. That's why I didn't do a video on that, because I wasn't here to do a video on it. However, yes, you can kind of make out the 9-foot zombie groundbreaker in this image, but just hang on 1 second, because in the second photo, you can see him much better. Finally, the last animatronic that we can see in this first image that got leaked out is a brand new crouching, lunging girl for Lowe's 2023. Now, she's kind of in the corner of this image, and she's very easy to miss if you aren't zooming in and taking a look at all of the different details from this photo. I will say right now, this animatronic is very likely a reskin of the lunging pumpkin carver that was sold for the Spirit Halloween 2016 season, or the Vengeful Vicky animatronic that was sold at Morris Costumes and some wholesale companies. This is very likely just a reskin of those animatronics, once again manufactured by Techie Design, with that lunging motion where the girl kind of lunges up from the floor at you. However, from right now, very much looks like a reskin of those animatronics, manufactured by Techie. And if so, I'm not super excited about it, because we've already seen 2 versions, but nonetheless, that is another animatronic we can see in this photo. Alright, so at this point, we are going to take a look at the second leaked image that came out of the Lowe's display. And this one might even be more exciting because it has so many animatronics in it. First of all, the main thing we can see in this image is the brand new Gravedigger animatronic coming for Lowe's. Now, once again, this is another prop that we did hear a little bit about when the price sheet leaked out. That's how we know his name is the Gravedigger. I will say, out of all the things we are seeing so far for Lowe's, I like a lot of the animatronics. This one is probably one of my least favorites, just because I am not a big fan of the way the proportions are, and the head. I feel like the whole face area is just way too big for the body. And also his face, I think everyone's gonna say this, looks very, very goofy looking. The way his eyes are so big and the mouth is kind of wide open. If this is meant to be a more family-friendly animatronic, I guess I understand it, and I think we'll know more about that once we hear the audio, if this is meant to be more family-friendly. However, not a huge fan of this guy, just because, yes, very goofy looking, the proportions seem to be off, and also the skin just looks kind of weird. However, behind this Gravedigger animatronic is one of the most exciting props of the lineup, and this is a brand new Leatherface being manufactured by GMHaunts. Now, once again, we did know that a new Leatherface was coming for Lowe's, because from the price sheet, we read that a brand new Leatherface is going to be manufactured by GMHaunts, and this is our first look at the animatronic because we didn't get any stock photos of it, nothing like that. This is the first time we're seeing him. I will say, we are seeing this animatronic from pretty far away from the place that this picture was taken in, so it's hard to give an exact opinion of the prop. However, I will say, for a GMHaunts animatronic, from this angle, he doesn't look bad. I've been hoping for a new Leatherface animatronic for a long time now. Huge fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the last Leatherface we got was the original GMHaunts one that was sold at Spirit back in 2007. So I've been hoping for a new Leatherface, and from what we are seeing here, I'm not disappointed just yet. I think this looks pretty good from the angle. I think the face looks pretty decent. You can see the apron with the blood. You can see the jeans on there. I will say it looks like he's standing a little bit weird, but I don't know. Maybe he's in mid-activation and he has some kind of shaking motion with the chainsaw. I'm not really sure, but nonetheless, from this angle, definitely doesn't look bad, and I'm very, very excited to see more about him, because if he is a good animatronic, might have to pick him up during the Halloween 2023 season. Alright, so the last Lowe's Halloween 2023 animatronic that we have to take a look at today is the one that I mentioned earlier, and this is the 9-foot zombie groundbreaker. Now, as you can see from the second photo, we get a much better look at the prop, because from the first image, you could really only see the teeth and the mouth. Here, we see the entire face and the LED eyes. It looks like he was in mid-activation as his picture was taken, because the eyes are lighting up, and also possibly the mouth is moving, but that also just might be the sculpt all the time. Kind of hard to tell from this angle. Now, I know a lot of people in the community have been knocking this animatronic and saying that he looks a little bit too cartoony, and they don't love the way the face looks. However, I'm kind of the exact opposite of that. I love the way this guy looks. I think the cartoonishness of the face actually benefits the prop. I love that kind of dark green color and the way that the yellow contrast with the green. It also looks like he has some, like, weird skin bubbling going on at the top of the face, very zombie-esque. I love the way that looks. And also, as you can tell from this image, he is 9 feet tall. You can see compared to the people walking below him, presumably Lowe's managers. He is way bigger than them. This is a huge animatronic. Now, this guy will be retailing for $600 United States dollars. Yes, you heard me correctly. $600. Now, that's because he is 9 feet tall, or 9 feet wide, whatever you want to call it, because of how big he is, I guess. He's a 9-foot zombie groundbreaker, so the price tag does definitely make sense. I will say he should have some big animation for that $600 price tag. We're seeing LED eyes, but that is definitely not going to be enough for that $600. I'm hoping maybe he has some kind of huge animation that, once again, is really impressive for a big prop. But nonetheless, that is the 9-foot zombie groundbreaker. So overall, I actually think these animatronics from these two images look really, really good. I am so excited about the red dress pneumatic girl. I really want to see her activation video. Not gonna lie, I really think Lowe's has a chance this year of competing with companies like Home Depot and maybe even Spirit, because from these photos, it looks very, very promising, and I think they put a lot of heart and soul into their lineup, and I'm so excited to see more. The demo videos, the stock photos, the prices, everything in between. I am very excited for Lowe's Halloween 2023. But I guess, remember as always, for everything scary, I'm GMHaunts. I'll see you guys later for more Lowe's Halloween 2023 videos. Goodbye.